Good evening, lay counselors, spouses, family. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there tonight, and for that I'm sorry. I had work obligations and family obligations that I just really need to be there for. However, Pastor Dean suggested that I could still be a part of the celebration tonight in this manner, so that's what I'm doing. I've recorded this video and I'm coming to you from my home in lovely Cameron, North Carolina. So, first of all, to the lay counselors, I wanted to say congratulations. You guys have completed your training. You've accomplished a certain level of competency necessary for biblical counseling, and that's no small feat. You deserve a pat on the back, and it's okay. I hope others around you right now are patting you on the back, and if they aren't, then pat yourself. It's okay this time. But seriously, I've watched you guys through your months and months of training as you've increased in your understanding and your knowledge of the scriptures and of biblical counseling concepts and principles. And whether you realize it or not, God has used you to accomplish the same thing in me, to increase my knowledge and my understanding of the scriptures and of biblical counseling concepts and principles. So for that, I thank you. To the spouses and families of the lay counselors, thank you so much for giving us your loved ones, giving up your time with them, for allowing them to spend their time with us. Is truly a sacrifice, I know, and I am so grateful that you did that for us and for the Lord. I am confident that God's going to use that sacrifice to bless others in Christ Community Church and in the community. So I just wanted to let you know that does not go unnoticed. To the lay counselors, thank you so much for giving up your time and training, watching the videos and all that other stuff that you had to do, and then continuing to give up your time to counsel and care for others in Christ Community Church and the community. I'm confident that God's going to use your training and your continual service to bless others. And I pray that you will also receive blessing in the process. But right now, tonight, I would just wanted to run one thing by you real quick, and it's this concept of where do you find care. Now, just stay with me for a moment. Pastors know this all too well. As they care for their congregations and they shepherd the flock, it's easy to get burned out. It's easy to sort of feel like what you're doing doesn't make a difference, because maybe you don't see much change taking place, or whatever the case may be. But you know, mostly everyone who's in some sort of profession or some sort of volunteer position where they care for others, almost everyone gets to a place where they're burnt out or they need care themselves. So, my question is, where do you find care? Or who pours into you? How do you get poured into? Where do you find grace? My mind is immediately taken to 1 Kings chapters 18 and 19. Many of you are no doubt familiar with the story of Elijah and the prophets of Baal. In chapter 18, there is a great victory on Mount Carmel that Elijah had, that God had over the prophets of Baal. And then right after chapter 18 comes chapter 19, where Jezebel sends a message to Elijah and says, I'm going to kill you. And Elijah is overcome with fear, and he flees. And in his fear, in his anxiety, he's convinced that he's the only one left. He's convinced that he didn't make a difference. He did what the Lord asked him to do, and he just didn't make a difference. It didn't matter. He isolated himself. He was depressed. And during that time, during that isolation in the desert, what did the Lord do? I mean, did the Lord come to him and scold him for for not having enough faith, or for not getting out there and doing something else. No, the Lord just simply sent an angel to him who kind of poked him in the side, woke him up, and said, "Get up, eat, drink." And he rested some more. Next time, get up, eat, drink, because you got a long journey ahead of you. You know, it's just very practical care that the Lord provided for him. It was grace. It was really a picture of grace that God provided for him. And, you know, I believe that God supplies us with all types of grace all around us, all the time. And we just, many times we don't recognize it. But it's there for us. So I'm wondering, how do you let others pour into you whenever you need care? It's something that I think that as lay counselors, you guys need to give some thought to, and need to be aware of when you need care and how to receive care. It's okay to get to a point where you say, "Whoa, you know, I need to take a little time for me right now." You know, if I'm being counseled, if I have a counselor, I would much rather have a counselor who was aware enough to know that they need care than not, because then I know that I'm getting better care if they're aware enough to know when they need care. So I just wanted to encourage you with that, to think about that, and just to let you know that I'm always praying for you, and I'm praying for the ministry, and I just pray that God will bless you and bless others around you who you minister to. Thank you.